thanks for tuning in to Who Needs a Superhero? Chapter 1, Superman Saving Sun from Above. The first part of this is part 5, Made to Save. The Gospel of Luke says that in preparation for ministry, Jesus enters the Judean wilderness, where for 40 days he fasts and prays and wrestles with temptation. When Jesus is hungry, the devil tempts him to turn stones into bread, but Jesus will not use his power for his own comfort. Next, the devil offers him all the kingdoms of the world if Jesus would merely worship Satan. This would mean using the power as Satan would, as the world does, to rule and control. Jesus turns from the devil's offer. Jesus has come to serve, not to be served. Finally, the devil urges Jesus to demonstrate his power by flinging himself from the pinnacle of the temple in downtown Jerusalem. Surely, after a public display of such invincibility, the devil reasons the crowds will beg to follow Jesus, but Christ again refuses the easy way. He will use his power to help people, not to compel, dazzle, or coerce. Jesus returns from the wilderness and turns his attention and energy to healing, having forsworn the use of his power for personal advantage. The fullness of God's omnipotence lives in Jesus, but he willingly lays it aside to live in a human world. He is almighty, but will make himself as vulnerable as any other man or woman. Next part, connecting the celestial to clay dots. More than power and goodness link Jesus and Superman. Each leads a double life and goes by many names that explain their respective natures. Kal-El is both Clark Kent and Superman. Neither persona is a disguise or a pretense. Each face is true. One cannot be separated from the other. Superman really is the son of Ma and Pa Kent, just as surely he's the last son of Krypton. Having grown up on Earth, Superman understands human problems and needs, yet he brings into the world more than human possibilities. Jesus also embodies this dual nature. He is both carpenter from Galilee and the Redeemer from heaven, the Son of Man and Son of God. Jesus isn't sometimes one and then the other. He's always both. Theologians explain that Jesus is fully human and fully God. One of us, yet not. He's tempted as we are, yet he doesn't sin. He has needs, but those needs never blind him to the needs of others. He's both the perfect image of God and the untarnished image of humanity, as we were meant to be. Superman's Kryptonian name, Kal-El, offers an interesting and unexpected insight into his dual nature of Jesus. Take a look at Kal, his given name, the Kryptonian equivalent of a first name. El is the surname. The true name. El is the name of El is the name Superman shares with his father Jor-El. El is the Hebrew word for God. The word occurs thousands of times in the Old Testament, sometimes in the longer form Elohim, and often combines with other words and names. We know Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster intended the Hebrew meaning of El when they named their character, but the final connection confirms for me what I told the woman at that Thanksgiving service. Superman really does stand for Jesus, who comes from the world above, sent by his Father, bearing both his Father's name and nature. Of course, Jesus can do things that no one else can. Who else but Jesus could reconcile God and humanity? No wonder Matthew refers to the newborn as Jesus as Emmanuel, a name that means God is with us, or more literally, El is with us. The name Emmanuel captures the ironic grace of Jesus' life. He comes from above, but he stands beside us. That can't be said of many powerful people who love to stand above the crowd. Conquerors, intellectuals, moneymakers, celebrities, athletes, and politicians. To what extent do mere mortal powers brokers spend their time looking down on others instead of looking around for opportunities to serve? To what degree will they leave the world a better for having been here? Surely Superman stands apart from today's powerful people. He explains in a conversation with Wonder Woman, I think the best way to effect meaningful change is to work alongside the people rather than above them. At least it's always worked for me. If Krypton had never exploded and Superman had remained on the planet of his birth, he could have lived as an idyllic existence in a techno-utopia. But in doing so, he never would have made a difference in our world. Only in coming to Earth is Superman able to accomplish his saving work among mortals. He cannot save us from a distance. Possibly God could have found a less costly means of saving us. He might have rescued us from on high, aloft, and untouched by the mud and blood of human existence. But in fact, God chose to accomplish our salvation down here. Christ stepped down from the heavens and joined us in our earthbound humanity. And that's the end of part 5. Thank you for tuning in. Remember to like, subscribe, hit that notification button, comment, and share. And have a great and wonderful day.